Om Vakradunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karashyami Siddhir Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Atha Shashtodhyayah.
Atha Shashitodhyayah.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha.
Anashita karma phalam karyam karma karodhyaha.
Sasannyasi cha yogi cha nadiragdirna chakriyaha.
Sasanyasi yacho yogi cha nanidragnirna chakriyaha.
We are reading this shloka. So he is a sannyasi is a yogi, the one who performs karma, the actions, the duties which are to be done, not impelled by the desire for the results of action. So his action is not dictated by the raga for the karma phala. Because the karma to be done, therefore he does. Because we know karma, which is kartavyam, is within the order of Ishvara. Therefore, Ishvararpanam Buddhya, Ishvararpanam Buddhya Prasad and Prasada Buddhi. That's karma yogi. Karma to be done. Duty is Ishvara. Karma which is to be done is Ishvara. It's in harmony with the order. So the one who has the awareness of Ishvara, he only can be karma yogi, and therefore he does the karma which is enjoined by the Shastram or which is in keeping with one's Varna Ashtama, the Lokika karma, he does. That person, because it is to be done, even though it is not pleasant, because it is to be done, it does. That is why not with the end result in mind, it does, because it is to be done. That person is a yogi as well as sannyasi. Why like sannyasi? Because sannyasi doesn't do karma. So sannyasi doesn't do karma. The one who has taken the sannyasa ashrama, he gives up karma. So since sannyasi don't have karma, therefore there is no karma phalam for them. Similarly, like a sannyasi, he also doesn't have karma phala. Not doesn't have karma phala, doesn't have the karma phala as the end in his mind. He does karma. Being unattached, does karma. Therefore, is equated to sannyasi and is a karma yogi. And another line statement is there in the shloka. That is important. Dhaniragnihi chakriyaha. Not just the person is sannyasi, becomes a sannyasi just by giving up agni karma and not by doing any karma. Then who could be really a sannyasi? person who is not attached to karma pala, sannyasi iti, the yogi is praised. This is what we saw in the last class. Now, continuing. From here we have to read. A karma yogi has raga dvesha. Because he has raga dvesha, therefore only karma yogi. Therefore only he does a sadhana, karma yoga as a sadhana, and he is a karma yogi. If he doesn't have raga dvesha, then he's a jnani. Raga dveshas are neutralized. Raga dveshas are the raga dveshas, they have no more impact, influence on the person. He is dvandvatitaha, raga dveshatitaha, vitaraga bhayat krodaha. Then he is jnani. So therefore, because raga dveshas are there, therefore karma yogi takes up the sadhanam, karma yoga. So a karma yogi also, as being a mukshu, yes, raga dvesha. A karma yogi is not a person who has no raga dvesha. Raga dveshas are there, but raga dvesha doesn't overpower him. He has raga dvesha under his control. He doesn't come under the vasha of raga dvesha. Karma yogi is someone who has raga dvesha, but gives them up. Gives them up means doesn't go by the dictum of raga dvesha. That is what giving them up. Otherwise, how do you give up? You cannot choose to give up raga dvesha. Raga dvesha, without being invited, it is there. It has its own reason why it is there. Maybe because of purva, karma, purva samskaras, raga, and dveshas are there. So giving them means it's not controlled by them. That is what giving them. It doesn't go by them, by the dictum of raga dvesha. Instead of going by, I must get this and I must not get this. I must get this raga, I must not get this dvesha. Getting is raga dvesha, getting rid is dvesha. Getting is raga, getting rid of is dvesha. So both are not. Both are, he gives up. Both are given up by him. How? It does by not going with them. So the karma yogi goes by what is to be done. That is why we say goes by what is to be done. That is with Ishvara. So therefore, he is in alignment with the Ishvara. He is with the order of Ishvara. He is with the thinking of Ishvara. Therefore, he becomes a patra for Ishvara Anugraha. Doesn't violate the order, doesn't violate the dictum of Ishvara. Karma, when something it is to be done, it is taken as the order, the commandment of the Lord. So therefore, doesn't disobey the order. He follows the order. Order could be commandment or follows the order which is there in the creation. That is the order. In other words, he gives up the desires. Okay, this is another. Gives up the desire for this and that, and performs whatever that is to be done according to dharma and adharma, not going by his or her own fancies, ragadveshas. So, therefore, the icha, karma, which is generally propelled by icha, done by the people, that icha prerana is not there for the karma yogi because it is, he knows the karma to be done, therefore he does. So, therefore, in keeping with one's condition, one's state of life. So it is karma, Vedic karma, Laukika karma. In keeping with dharma, what is in keeping with dharma? He does that which is not dharmika, which is adharmika. Even though he likes, he will not do. That which is dharmika, even though he doesn't like, but he will do. So therefore, ragadvesha being there, not influenced by ragadvesha. Dharma is given priority. Dharma is Ishvara, order. So therefore, Dharma, Ishvara is a priority. That person is a karma yogi. Therefore, is equated to a sannyasi because not going by his own ragadvesha. He goes by the order of Ishvara, therefore equated to a sannyasi. In this way, once raga dveshas are given up, the so raga dveshas are given up to a certain extent, and those and that remain are pursued and fulfilled according to dharma. Conformity to dharma. In fulfilling any desire, that's a choice involved in both the means and the ends. Choosing the choice and choosing the ends. The end may be appropriate, but the means may be inappropriate. Or the end may be inappropriate, the means may be appropriate. What is dharma? Then the means should be appropriate means leading to the appropriate end. That is dharma. And the choice themselves are determined by one's raga dvesha, being endowed with free will and being endowed with the faculty to choose. Therefore, the choices are determined, dictated by one's raga dvesha, which need not necessarily conform to right and wrong, dharma and adharma. Since one's raga dvesha need not, because raga dvesha being there is no necessity, there is no such thing that it should be in keeping with dharma. Raga could be in keeping with adharma, dvesha also could be keep with dharma. So therefore, raga dvesha, someone's raga dvesha will conform to right and wrong, but more often than they may not. You may like things which are not dharmika, which are not proper. You may have dvesha for those which may be dharmika, possible. So what then is a person is to do? This will depend on, depends on whether the person is a karmi or a karmi yogi. Karmi is interested in ends, doesn't bother about the means. Whereas karma yogi is also bothered about the end, but the means are not taken care, the end will not be reached. Therefore, the means also as well as the ends, both are important for a karma yogi. And if the appropriate means are taken, followed, then the end is guaranteed. So if the person is not a karma yogi, he will not care about the means and the ends, but simply say, I want this, therefore I'll get it. Such a person is karmi. And one who follows whatever means that are necessary to accomplish his or her chosen end. As I said, chosen end could be dharmika or adharmika. But he wants that, and for that, to gain that, he may adopt any means. The karmi can adopt any means. The approach of a karma yogi is different, often implying some tyaga. That's why karma yogi is equal to sannyasi. Some tyaga is involved, some renunciation on his or her part. The main criterion being conformity with dharma and adharma. To be done, conforming with dharma. Should not be done, that is adharma. Should not be done, adharma, therefore he will not do. Should be done, dharma, he will do. Even though he may like that which should not be done, he will not do. That tyaga is involved. Even though certain thing he may not like, but should be done, he will do. Again here tyaga is involved. Tyaga is involved, therefore raga dvesha is not given importance. That's what we call mastery over raga dvesha. Neutralization of raga dvesha. As a sadhana, when it is repeatedly done, then it becomes easy to not to get influenced by raga dvesha. That is the end. The karma yogi, as a context of the sadhana, karma yoga. So therefore, some tyaga is involved, implying some renunciation. The main criterion being conformity with dharma and dharma. The karma yogi renounces his or her raga dveshas and does whatever is to be done without being guided by, dictated by likes and dislikes. When a person says this is to be done, therefore I do it, whether I like it or not. If you like it, it's very good. If you don't like it, then also should be done. If what you do is what you like, then there is no problem. But if what you have to do is not to your liking, then also you must do. There's some space is there, control is there, some tyaga is involved. So it means whether this is to be done, therefore I do it, whether I like it or not. Means the person is renouncing certain raga dvesha. That is what tyaga, raga dvesha tyaga. Renouncing certain raga dvesha, the results of action, therefore, is also a kind of sannyasi. Is also kind of sannyasi. In that sense, it's a sannyasi. That is why Bhagavan Krishna says here, such a person, meaning a karma yogi, is both a sannyasi and a karma yogi. Such a person is meaning both a sannyasi and a karma yogi. Sasannyasi cha yogi cha iti. The karma yogi is not a complete sannyasi, but sannyasa is not complete without karma yoga. Karma yogi is not a sannyasi, but sannyasa also not complete without karma yoga. Every sannyasi must have been a karma yogi. Karma yogi is not a complete sannyasi, but as a quality of a sannyasi, that is why it's equated. Quality of a sannyasi in terms of his or her renunciation of raga dveshas. That's why the shloka should not be taken literally, should be understood properly. The qualities of the sannyasi, of the karma yogi. So, in terms of quality, is equated to a sannyasi. It's not a sannyasi, it's not ashrama sannyasi. The value of values. Anything that anyone wants is very important to that person. It's subjective. Some may say I'm unhappy and go after certain pleasures. Here again, the value of this pleasure is not adequately understood. The limitations are not known, and therefore they are overvalued. At the same time, the universal values are also not being fully understood by the person, or undervalued, and they are devalued. So both are there. Valuing that which is of not any value, devaluing that which is of high value. This means that while we have knowledge of values, we have no education with reference to them. The value of the values not being known, the value of following the values not being known. We don't have adequate knowledge of the values, and this situation creates conflict. Upon analysis of the value structure, we see if the value of all the values is not known, the universal values naturally remain undervalued, and things which people have value for, like money and power, have an exaggerated value. Dharma and artha, praise, they have exaggerated value. And the universal values like ahimsa, etc., they are undervalued. However, when such values are clearly understood, who understands that? Karma yogi understands that. Karmi doesn't understand. Karma yogi. So when such values are clearly understood, then they no longer have full value for you. Until then, they rule. The power rules, money rules, name and fame rule, influence rules. They rule the roost of your heart. Therefore, following the value and the values requires alertness. To understand that this values are discussed in the 13th chapter. There are 20 spiritual values. Value requires alertness. Understanding of value requires maturity on the part of the person. To understand the value structure and to see the limitations of what you value, you have to live an alert life, a life of karma yoga. So karma yoga is an alert life, being sensitive to what you do. Because the raga dveshas are still alive in karma yogi, what he values will have a hold over the person. Thus, the karma yogi has to sacrifice his raga or dveshas. In that sense, he is a sannyasi. In terms of quality, he is a sannyasi. He may not be able to use the most convenient means available anywhere, but because his or her commitment is to a life of karma yoga for the sake of jnanam for moksha. So moksha is a priority. That is why karma yogis are moksharthi. Karmis are priority. Jnana yogi also moksharthi. But jnana yogi is one who is leading a lifestyle of pursuing jnanam. Could be a sannyasa ashrama. The karma yogi has a desire for knowledge, which implies the purification of the mind. Antakarna Shuddhi. The end is Jnanam, for which Antakarna should be relatively made pure. Therefore, Antakarna Shuddhi is the immediate end for the Karma Yogi. If nothing else, he wants to be a mature person, and to accomplish that, the person definitely will have to sacrifice something. The cause of conflict, Vikshepa, Hetu, is what has to be sacrificed here. The person gives up the cause for conflict, meaning that he gives up doing wrong actions, the seeds of conflict. Conflict begins only when you do a wrong action. You will not get into conflict when you do the right action. Only when you do a wrong action, you are in conflict. Should I do it or not? In fact, there is always conflict before doing, while doing, and after doing. Before doing, there is a conflict whether to do it or not. While doing, you have to look to both sides, especially if you are stealing something. Others should not catch you, should not watch. And after doing, there is also conflict. When the police come looking for you. If, however, you perform action in accordance with Dharma, there is Tyaga involved, Tyaga Pragadvesha, then there is no conflict. And what happens before doing, there may be conflict. Once you make a choice to go by Dharma, in order to avoid doing wrong, doing the right thing is not always spontaneous. Being endowed with choice, therefore, we exercise our choice. If there is a choice is to be made on your part, there's conflict. But if you make the right choice, then after that, there's no conflict. However, once you have done the right thing, there is no conflict. Thus, the Karma Yogi enjoys a life of no conflict. He may start with the conflict, but doesn't end with conflict. Whereas Karmi starts with, he will not start with the conflict. There is no botheration of this raga, the dharma. With no conflict, it does, but later ends up with conflict. In this way, both the sannyasi and karma yogi are free from the spell of raga dvesha. They are free from the conflict. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna tells Arjuna that by doing what is to be done without depending on one's likes and dislikes, a person is both a sannyasi and a yogi. Yogi meaning karma yogi. Renunciation of the twofold activities. Bhagavan then goes on to describe to what this person is not. Na niragnigi nacha akriyaha. The two expressions refer to twofold activities given up by the person who has taken to the life of a sannyasa. Vedic karma, scripturally enjoined activities, and Laukika karma, all other activities, gives up and takes to sannyasa. Before becoming a sannyasi, the person performs certain daily and obligatory duties, Vedic rituals, nitya naimittika karmas, nitya karma, sandhya vandana adi karma, naimittika karma, shraddha adi karma. All the Vedic rituals imply fire, Agni, because sannyasi no longer performs the Agni karma, fire rituals. Therefore, the sannyasi is referred to in this shloka as niragnihi, nirgataha, agnihi, yasmat, saha. It's a compound. Na vidyate, otherwise na vidyate, yasya agnihi. It doesn't have Agni karma, therefore niragnihi. Niragnihi, nir Agni. Agni means fire. No Agni. No Agni is not a meaning. Referring to the person who doesn't have any Agni karma. Niragni, the compound. Therefore, sannyasi gives up all other activities also. All forms of, this is one thing. Then sannyasi gives up all other activities, all forms of worship, family duties, social duties, everything. This all is business. In other words, he has no more roles to play. That is what sannyasa is. Karma yogi has many roles to play. Whereas sannyasi has got no roles to play. He just a sannyasi. Doesn't have no roles to play as a son, daughter, or a parent, as a friend, as a citizen. He doesn't have even voting rights. Thus, the person is also referred to as akriya, meaning who has given up all the activities. Kriyana vidyate yasya saha. That person who has given up the action, the activities, Vaidika as well as Lokika. When a person has given up all scripturally enjoined and worldly activities as part of the ritual of sannyasa, is called sannyasi. So that is what sannyasi is, gives up. Why did you become a sannyasi? It's a very interesting question that people often ask a Swami. And each Swami has his own her own story, of course. And if the story is not a pleasant one, then the Swami is not likely to answer the question. Nevertheless, there is always a reason. The person may have lost his business and had nowhere to go. A person he can even become a sannyasi by mail these days, I am told. The point here is that if a person takes the life of sannyasa by choice, it doesn't mean that his or her ragadveshas are gone. This is a common understanding people as a sannyasi. A sannyasi doesn't have ragadvesha. Sannyasi not having ragadvesha is very good, but not also not it is not. It's not that they are without ragadvesha. It doesn't mean that his or her ragadveshas are gone. If nothing else, a person may have the choice to save people by teaching them without really knowing what it is all about. Often such people will say, I have burning desire to save these people, to serve the people. That's how savior comes into picture. Savior. The question therefore must be asked, is there really a desire to save people or to save oneself? Surely to save the people, one should save oneself. So to save oneself, Swayam Tarati Anyan Tarayat. First one has to save oneself, then only one can save others. One has to save oneself from samsara, then only one can save others from the samsara. If I am myself is not able to cross over this, then how can I help people to cross over? So one has to save oneself. So what service can you give them when you yourself requires all the services? Therefore, some people are so full of raga dvesha that they are unable to understand even the simple fact. But for taking sannyasa doesn't mean the person becomes a sannyasi in the true sense of the word. That is why he said not at all, and because a person has taken the sannyasa, he is free from raga dvesha. So taking sannyasa is not. The person still may have raga dvesha, and because of his commitment to knowledge, maybe over a period of time, he will have mastery over raga dvesha. Because he has taken the sannyasa doesn't mean raga dveshas are neutralized. In fact, raga dvesha cannot be removed. It will be there, but it will be kept under check. Shaknoti Haivaya Sodam, we saw in the last chapter. Shaknoti Haivaya Sodam Prakshariya Vivokshanat. Kamakrodod Bhavam Vegam Sayukta Sasuki Naraha. One who is able to withstand the Viveka, the force of Kama and Krodha, he is a yogi. Okay. Therefore, taking sannyasa doesn't mean that the person becomes sannyasi in the true sense of the word. He is in the process of becoming a sannyasi. Sannyasi is a means to become a sannyasi, to become a sannyasi. Sannyasa ashrama is a means to become a sannyasi. Or those who are really sannyasi, they have those who have really given up, those who are not assailed by raga dvesha. They may take sannyasa, become sannyasi. That is also possible. But sannyasa as a means to sannyasa. So the people taking sannyasa as a means to sannyasa, but when you compare, then this yogi is also a sannyasi only, in that sense. That's what sasannyasi cha yogi cha. Further, Bhagavan says, the next shloka. Let us read. Yam sannyāsamiti prāhuhu yogam tam vidhi pandhava.
Yam sannyāsamiti prahuhu yogam tam vitti pandava.
Na hya sannyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana.
Nahya sannyasthak sankalpaha yogi bhavati kashchana.
That which is called sannyasa, may you know that to be yoga also. Yoga hapi. Yam sannyāsamiti prāhuhu vidhi. May you know that to be yoga. Nahi asanyasa sankalpaha yogi bhavati kaschana. Asanyasta sankalpa means sanyasta means giving up. Asanyasta not given up. Sankalpa is desires. Desires for limited ends, limited results. Those who have not given up the desire for the limited results, he cannot become a yogi. So therefore, he has given up the desired results means his desire is moksha. So in that sense, Yogi is also sannyasi. So what they say as renunciation, know that to be a karma yoga. Im sannyasa miti praga, because in sannyasa, as in sannyasa, similarly here in karma yoga, the person is not bound by karma pala. Sannyasi do not do karma and therefore not bound by karma pala. Karma yoga also not bound by karma pala. Not bound by karma pala. In that sense, they are equated. So therefore, yam sannyasa, that which is called sannyasa, may you know that to be a yoga. The nagya sannyasa sankalpaha, asanyasa sankalpaha, referring to the person who has not given up desires. He cannot become a karma yogi. As karma yogi, to become a karma yogi, one has to give up desires. So karma yogi implies giving up desires. As sannyasa implies giving up karma. Karma is propelled by desires. Sannyasi do not have karma, that means do not have desires. Similarly, karma yogi also. So what is the difference then between them? Not there. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. We will see this in the next class. We'll continue. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnamya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः।